Hey folks, welcome. I thought I'd do an unboxing video. Don't usually do unboxings, but I'll tell you what this is when we unbox it, assuming it's still in one piece. I hope. Yeah. I bought this because I've owned 3 in the past and I've never ever seen anybody. Oh, the packaging's coming off nice and easy. I've never ever seen anybody do one on eBay, on YouTube. There are a few examples on YouTube that people claim they've done, but I've never actually seen them actually work on them. So whether they do themselves is another matter. They just say they are, you know, you see it not working, or supposedly not working, and then a few days later they show it you, all done. But you don't know whether it was them who did it or someone else who did it. Now let's see if I can recycle these boxes, because if I can recycle these boxes I will do. Anyway, this is our latest project. If I can ever get it out of the box. But these boxes will be packed flat and they will be saved, because I'll be able to reuse those. Now, let's see how well our seller, oops, let's see, it's like fucking wrestling a fucking squid. Let's see how well our eBay seller packaged this particular. Oh, my light's swinging now, there we go. Let's see how well. It might sound like I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry about that folks, my needle's stuck. At the end of the day, I think he's padded it quite well. But I'll be the judge now when I get it open. Now where have I put that fucking knife? I hate putting knives down. You run yourself a cut, you run the risk of cutting yourself. Or failing that, you could sit on it and give yourself arsenic. Yeah, how about that one, eh? Yeah. Yeah. Right. I'm going to have to lift this onto the floor. Right. There we go. Oh. Well, that's another box out of the way. Get rid of all this packaging material, because them boxes, that box is going to be saved, I'm afraid, because there'll be something else going out in that. Now, what he's done here, and he's done exactly right, I think. What he's done here, he's actually padded the corners. I mean, I have scratched it in a couple of places. You can't help that. But it's getting refinished anyway. Do you know what it is yet? I bet you don't. You will in a minute. And try not to scratch the lid or the front here. It's a bit warm there where it says transfer. I nearly thought, oh, it's a bit I hope that cleans up. It's a bit grubby, that. I hope I can polish all that up, to be honest. It's a bit corroded. And where this thing's been left all in years. Hinges are a bit rusty. You probably know what it is now. According to the fella, it doesn't power up, and given the way it's probably been stored, I don't blame it. But and oh yeah, I think it'll all polish up that. I mean, it's a shame really. It's a shame really, it's got that pitting on it, but nothing to do about it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's how it looked. It didn't look that bad on the pictures. But these things happen. But the idea is to get this thing working. That's the whole point. Just get rid of the packaging, chuck it over there, sort that out later. Don't need to worry about that for now. Now, good blimey. Now you probably know what it is, and it's a bit worse for wear, but given that, it can all be sanded down. Now, it'll all be sanded down and given a fresh coat, so I'm not too concerned, because when it comes to, it's got a scratch there, I might have done that myself a minute ago. Scratch it, I was thinking. I mean, I'll be honest, this is not the best example of this particular machine I've ever seen. But I have had better. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about any of that at the moment. Let's lift the lid. And we've just been attacked by a cassette. Golden memories of the 60s. Now I asked him to securely tighten the tone arm down, and he's actually done that for me, look. He has actually secured the tone arm the best as he knows how. Well, that's seized solid. Look at that. That's tighter. And I also asked him yeah, the tuning dial all works, it's sunk in a bit, that's what happens with these. They sink in because that's not the least of my worries. What happens with the arm and everything's all intact, let's float that because it'll be coming out. I asked him to lock that down and he did. He's been getting good feedback from me, this fella, because he has packed it the way I asked him. That VU meter there has moved, that's no problem, all this will be coming apart. That's loose there. All these will be getting cleaned and sprayed, and I've got something behind that. Something causing an obstruction. No. Oops, there we go. It's just a rusted crap on the fucking hinges. There we go. But it's all complete. It's all complete, and it has to be said, folks, I'm really happy with it. I truly am. I mean, it's got the original Sonotone cartridge in it. See, we've got a stylus that's probably fucked, but hey, you can't have everything. The deck doesn't look as bad as it did on the pictures. And what we'll do, we'll start. We'll call this. We'll call this part 1 of the DECCA Compact 4, DECCA Sound Compact 4 Music Centre, and I've got an interesting idea for this as well, which I'll tell you about now. What I'm planning on doing, folks, this is all in pretty good condition, it'll clean up well. Anyway, what the plan is for this is, if the amplifier is knackered, I've actually ordered 2 mono amplifier kits, and I'm waiting for them coming in anticipation of buying this. And if I have trouble repairing, I shouldn't do, but, or even maybe as an upgrade, I could upgrade this to 40 watts, 20 watts per channel, because I don't think these are 20 watts per channel. I think they're about 10 watts per channel if you're lucky, but I don't know how many watts they are. If anybody knows, then let me know. But I don't know how many watts they are. But I am thinking of new amplifiers, depending on whether I can repair what's here. But we haven't. That's all seized in there. We haven't, you know. Basically, we haven't done a power on test. I have been told by the seller that this unit doesn't power up, but I am happy. I mean, it's not as nice as it looks on the pictures. I mean, it doesn't do the pictures justice. I mean, the pictures look a lot nicer, but there again, you know, but there again, everything looks. Cameras hide things, don't they? Everything looks nicer on a photograph. But I think it will polish up. But if it doesn't, I'll find something interesting to do with the front. I want to be able to sell this on at a later date when I'm finished with it. So I don't want to go too far from the original purpose of it. You know, that centre spindle, I hope that's crap and not rust. Imagine I've got one of them anyway, I can replace that. Anyway, what I'm going to do, folks, I'm going to call this part 1, and now this music centre's on the bench, I'm not going to be tackling anything else until this is finished. That screw's got to go all the way down, otherwise I won't be able to clip it from the bottom, because they have to be all the way in. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching the first part, and you're going to see me really dig into this. I'm not going to attempt to power up on camera because I've been told it doesn't power up. But what we can do actually, before we do go, let's just do a couple of basic checks. Let's do a couple of basic checks, things that we can do. You know, let's do a couple of things we know we can do, and we'll see what we can and cannot do with this. But this is going to be, like I say, I've owned 3 of these. I've owned 3 of these machines in the past. This is the 4th one I've had in I've had come through my possession. But I haven't. The first thing I like to check, and I'm going to check because they're all accessible. Where's my glasses? Let's get my glasses. There. The first thing I'm going to check, and I'll check it with you now. Oh, there's a crack in the lid there. It's still, you know, for what I paid, I'm not going to cry about it. It arrived in one piece, and that's the good thing. You know, the DHL man, he did well. And so did the guy that wrapped this thing, or the woman who wrapped it, whoever wrapped it. Right, well, we've got a fuse. We'll check. It's the wrong value. It's a 13 amp fuse in that. Should really be a 3 or a 5. So we'll check the fuse and see if the fuse is working. I've got a feeling it probably is. But I was told this thing doesn't power up. So let's see. Right, well, this has been plugged in. It's been turned on and it's not blown the fuse in the plug. So we can rule out there's a short on the mains, or at least, well, not rule it out. It could be the fuse, could be the main fuse inside in the back of the unit. We're going to check those fuses now, and we're going to see if any of our fuses in the unit are blown, and that'll give us an idea. Well, I'll leave the meter. Just yeah, that'll give us an idea. I'll need the Phillips screwdriver, and it's two kinds. I'll get 2 screwdrivers because you never know. Turn the meter back on. We don't need the soldering iron yet. We're doing nothing with that soldering iron yet. And this is a fucking monster. I'm going to enjoy this. I am really, really going to enjoy. Oops. I am really going to enjoy this. This is like getting something that you've never had. And like I say, and everything's falling everywhere. Like I say, I've never seen one done on YouTube. And as I say, I'm not putting these people down that I've got them, but they don't seem to work on them. They just seem to, you seem to see the pictures of them, and then they say, "There, are we done?" Or they do a demonstration. But what they don't do is what I've not seen done on one of these units is the work in between them getting it and then doing the demonstration. You know. I mean, one guy was honest. He said that he actually had the amp repaired by someone, and he had the deck serviced by someone else, and that's fair enough. But even so, you expect. I'm going to put this straight. It's going to fall off. I'm going to end up having it on my lap. Now, oops, pardon me. Now, I'm hoping to find in here a blown fuse, because it doesn't power up. We're on continuity, are we? We are now, so I don't need to look at that. I can just... all the fuses are in here. So the first fuse is the output right. Left. What's fuse 3? Amp HT. Fuse 4 is amp HT, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Tuner. There's 8 fuses in this bastard. And that one's blown, which is auto stop for the tape. But the mains one isn't. So it's only the auto stop for the tape fuse that's blown. There's only that one that's blown. Which I think is auto, yeah, tape auto stop. 160 milliamp, ain't got a 160 milliamp, so. What we'll do, we'll borrow one from the speaker output. Because we're not really fussy about speakers at the moment. Just pop that in there. I can't see why that wouldn't let the rest of the machine fire up, but there we go. Now let's turn it round. With the meter. And what we'll do, we'll try and power it up. We'll have a go powering it up on the variac. I'm not going to plug it straight. I mean, it might power up the guy. I don't know. It could be. The guy might not have even tried, looking at the state of it, he might not have even tried powering it up. Might have just said doesn't power up. Right, I want the surge light in. There we go. The variac on. The power to the music centre on. Let's bring it up. Shut up! I'm gonna have a minute, folks, so I'll just shut him up. But it is powering up, folks, because the tape machine's running. The mains light isn't on, and the stereo light, oh, they're obviously not going to be, are they? But we are powered up. That cassette's running. Right, FM. Are we in stereo? Doesn't help that the FM mute's down. Turntable motor hums, don't run like it won't do, will it? Let's see if the cassette mech actually, see if it'll turn the tape. Yeah. Hey folks, the cassette's working. VU meters are going up and down like fuck. Fast forward. Rewind. It says rewinds a bit. Oh, it's picked up there. There we go. Auto stops working, so the fuse is obviously okay now. Alright. you know something, even the take counter works. Right, so we'll keep those as a test tape for testing. We don't know about the mute button stuck down for radio, so I don't know about that. Oh, I believe it popped up then. Anyway folks, let's turn it off. Yeah, it's off now. Right, what we'll do, we know it does power up. And there's no shorts, as you can see. So, there we go. The bulbs are probably blown in there, so that's probably why they're not lighting up, because they're not neons in this, they are bulbs. But we have got some, so we can replace those, sort that out. So that's it really. We'll do a sound test next time. I'm going to whip the bottom off and have a look inside and see what I got. But it's looking promising that the cassette deck actually does run. So anyway folks, let's turn the variac off. Thank you very much for watching this, and more to come later, as they say. Thanks for now folks, bye.